Hey guys, welcome to chapter number 2. We are going to be talking about the earth that God's created and some of the physical features of it. And so you need to grab something to write with, whether it's your computer, whether it's a piece of paper and a pencil, because you need to take notes on this stuff. So seriously, go grab something. Pause me and go get something to write down some notes. So as we begin today, I want to talk about Nehemiah chapter 9 and verse number 6, which says, "You alone are the Lord. You have made the heavens, the heaven of heavens with all their host, the earth and all that is in it, the seas and all that is in them. You give life to all of them, and the heavenly host bows down before you." Again, that's Nehemiah 9:6. As we look at the earth that God has created, there's so many things we can praise Him for that even we don't understand yet. But we're going to look at some of the physical features. And so as we begin chapter number 2, we're going to talk about the physical geography, a living planet. And that's the title of this chapter. So looking at both the inside and out sections of our Earth, we begin with the structure. Our Earth is one of the planets in our solar system. We are the third planet away from the sun. So looking at the structure of the Earth is about 24,000 miles in circumference and 7,900 miles in diameter. Those of you that are better at math than me can understand really what all that means, but what it means is our Earth is huge, and God created it, and He just spoke it into existence. As we start to peel back the layers of our Earth, we can see that our Earth is made up of a number of layers. We go to the very center of the Earth, and that's the core, that middle section. It's solid. And just outside of the core, we have the mantle. And the mantle is filled with molten, hot rock called magma. Now, when I think of that word molten, first thing that pops in my mind is one of those chocolate molten cakes, where like the chocolate spills out and everybody fights for that gooey stuff that comes out of the center of that chocolate cake. I could go for some cake right now. But when we look at the magma in the Earth, you don't want to eat that stuff. But that is part of the next layer, just outside of the core. Then we have the crust, and that's the thin layer of rock at the Earth's surface. So looking at the structure of our Earth here, above those layers, we can look at our atmosphere. Our atmosphere is what is going to protect us from radiation, space debris, and it contains oxygen and nitrogen. And it's all up here around us, and some of it we can study and we can understand the things that make up all of our atmosphere. In the lithosphere, that is the crust and the upper mantle. You can see on the diagram that should be pictured here next to me that the lithosphere is right above the molten lava, typically, unless it is coming up through volcano. We'll get to volcanoes later. But it's also below the hydrosphere. So the hydrosphere is the water elements. And so it's important that you know that term, hydrosphere, lithosphere, atmosphere. And then also our fourth one here is the biosphere. The biosphere is the part where plants and animals live. And so it allows us to be able to grow things, allows us to be able to produce products for our consumption. And then there's the cryosphere. This is the part of the Earth's surface where water is in solid form. We have ice, so we have that specifically at the South Pole, the North Pole, especially in glacier form, and we'll talk more about those as we move along as well. Now, if I start getting too fast, pause, take some notes, go back and review what I've talked about, but hopefully the slides that are here on the screen will help you keep some notes as well. Looking at the structure of our Earth, there is a theory about how our continents came to be. It's called the continental drift theory. There are a couple different theories out there, and we're going to talk about a couple of them when we get to class, but I want you to know this one to start off with. It was developed by Alfred Wegener, and it says that we at one time had one supercontinent, and over the course of time, that those continents have separated and have drifted apart. And it depends on your perspective, and it depends on your worldview as far as how long that has taken or where that came from or whether that's even true. So we're going to dive into that a little bit in class. But it is important that we do know the 7 continents. So they're listed here for you on the screen, and so make sure that you write those down. I'm also going to jump ahead to the global view so you can see where those continents are located. And just a little heads up, you will need to know those 7 continents coming up for a quiz or test later on. And so make sure that you write those down and start to picture in your mind where those continents are located so that you have a basic understanding of our 7 continents on the globe. So you can see we've got North America, which you all should be real familiar with. We have South America, we've got Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, and then Antarctica. So take a moment, write those down, and we will come back and study those a little bit later.